This is Kevin McMurray with TrackingSharks.com. I am a Shark Attack research contributor with the International Shark Attack File. Today we are sharing my interview with Brook Toussaint, who lost her leg to a tiger shark. Brook was in her third year of vet school on St. Kitts when she joined her swim group on the Atlantic side of the island for an excursion. Several students, along with their professor, planned to swim and kayak 1.5 miles to Booby Island before having lunch and traveling back. The weather was perfect, and the group hit the water around 8:45 a.m., January 9, 2021. The following is from an interview Brook gave me on March 1, 2021, and is used with her permission. It was done over the phone, so please excuse any quality issues. We pick up with Toussaint an hour into the swim, as the group has stopped about 1/2 mile from their destination.
All the kayaks have kind of gathered together, and I can see the swimmers have gathered together, so they're having some kind of powwow about something. So I make a head towards them, which would just be me like veering right almost. So I veer off and only get maybe a couple strokes in and feel this pressure on my back left leg, and it just confused me. I didn't understand why I was feeling pressure on my leg, and it was just a pressure. It didn't necessarily like hurt. It just felt like my leg was being squeezed very hard, and so I was just confused and thinking about like, did an octopus be squeezing me? Like just running through my head, like, and it didn't even cross my mind that it could be something like a shark. So I turned around to look, and I'm just looking right in the face of the shark. All I can really see is straight into its face, its head. This is right there behind me, and I see it. I told this several times, but I'm not sure really how long this all took. Like if it was just a few seconds and my adrenaline slowed it down, or if it really was maybe closer to 30 seconds or something like a minute. I was below the surface when I was looking at the shark and confronting it and everything like that. And the shark was as well. So it must have pulled me down a little bit with that grab. I had to fight to get to the surface of the water, and I wasn't actually even really fighting for breath when I broke the surface. Like I wasn't like, oh, I'm running out of oxygen, I need to get above water soon. So holding my breath in one breath from when I turned around to look and see what grabbed me, and when I finally got above water. It definitely didn't seem like he was trying to like drag me down or drag me away, drown me or anything like that. Maybe it was 2 seconds or 30 seconds or a minute, but it's not like he'd rip off the limb or anything. That was the thing that I kept saying was like, I don't understand why he was just like kind of holding me there. But did have that comment once that I was like, maybe it just wasn't a good hunter. So I was underwater holding my breath, and I just knew, okay, shark, punch it in the nose. Try to give it my right hook, and it's not a very good right hook. Shark didn't care, still held on. So I was like, okay, eyes. Like, I don't have a lot of options here, but got to hit something sensitive if nose didn't work. So I stuck my thumb in its eye, and it did let go. And it shook its head and swam away as far as I knew. I was able to get up to the surface. I looked down at my leg, and it's just completely shredded and open to the world, and I couldn't really keep looking at it. I know I'm going into medicine, but I don't really like seeing my own blood and things like that. So I just looked at it to survey it, see if there was anything I needed to know about exactly, so like if it was still there or if it was gone anyway. Looked at it once, and I was like, yep, nothing bad. But I'm above water now, and I can yell to everyone else. I yelled shark twice, and then the rest of the time I'm yelling help me, and it's just getting harder and harder to yell, so I'm just getting quieter and quieter. But luckily everyone was close by, like they were within like 20 feet of me, and my professor was already swimming in my direction. I don't think he had even heard when I yelled shark. I think he was already just swimming over to me to maybe talk to me or something. So he's one of the first people to reach me, along with my best friend that was in a kayak and then jumped out of it when she heard me yell shark. And I was so mad when she told me that. she got over to me about the same time as my professor did, and so since she was in the kayak, she took off her life vest and put it around me because I was already just so weak from the blood loss. When I popped up above water, it was just like plume of blood around me, and it was gone just fast, almost just diffused that quickly in the ocean. I knew I lost a lot of blood. Maybe I was in shock too from looking at my leg, but it's really hard to breathe. My best friend took her life vest off, put it around me to help me float more easily. The other swimmer, she jumped up into the kayak and brought it over to us, and my professor grabbed onto my wrist. My best friend grabbed on the life vest, and so they used that to pull me onto the kayak from the front end, just kind of like sliding me over the front end. That at least I can be out of water a little easier and breathe a little easier. But after like looking back on it and everything that happened, I really think I just lost so much blood that I couldn't oxygenate enough. And so that's what my brain was screaming at me the whole time. I really didn't even register any pain, probably the adrenaline. Like I could just feel my leg as like kind of a floating entity, just something that was there. Because we had the kayak, we had 2 cell phones, so we had people calling 911, calling Professor's wife that was on the beach looking out for us in the binoculars, and just kind of waiting for us to get back. My friend was able to get my swim buoy off of me, which is just kind of attached with like a buckle and kind of like nylon belt. And so she put that around my leg above the injury to act as a tourniquet, and that's definitely a lifesaver there. When we talked about it, she said the whole time she was so afraid she made it too tight, but everyone was reassuring her, like, no, like, you did what was right. So we were in the water for about 30 minutes until the Coast Guard was able to reach us. I only opened my eyes, when the boat got right there. You can hear boats for a while off before you actually see them when you're in the water. So I heard the humming, and then when it got right there, and I heard the Coast Guard people yelling instructions and asking who it was and everything like that, I opened my eyes enough to just look at the side of the boat, but really I kept my eyes closed for a lot of it. I was just so weak. It was afterwards, after when I woke up in the hospital, and my friend and I were talking, and we were kind of putting pieces together because I wasn't exactly sure how everything happened as well. I mean, I was conscious, but barely. All I could do was just lay there and breathe and maybe give a thumbs up every now and then, say, yeah, I'm still alive. So afterwards, they told me, it was a tiger shark, and I was like, how'd y'all know? I didn't even really see it that good. How'd y'all know what shark it was? They saw it from the kayak because it was circling, and I had no idea about it. Nobody else had any idea about it. It came up from behind. I guess it was scared of me, and it had the reason to be. Ha ha ha. I had no idea about that at the time. My friend said that, she had even been turning the kayak in certain directions to keep it between the shark and I as it was circling. And I think they said it maybe circled for maybe 10 minutes, and then it left. I don't know if it really was a good enough eye injury that it needed to go lick its wounds or anything, or it just saw too many obstacles with all the people now, or what. But, I mean, lucky nothing else happened, especially since my best friend, my professor, is still in the water with me, trying to hold me up on this kayak and sure I don't just slip off into the water. They tried, the other swimmer that had jumped up into the kayak that I was now being held onto, she tried to get us to the island, but there was just couldn't make any headway with 4 people on there and fighting the Atlantic Ocean. So it was just doing all we could until the boats arrived. Well, doing all they could. Honestly, I think they should have maybe gotten a little attention themselves too, because I know everyone, we all were prepared to be really exhausted after this time anyway, but with all this else included, we lucked out so much because I heard my friend telling our professor, she's like, I'm starting to cramp up. I don't know how much longer I'll be able to hold on to her. he was trying to comfort her about that, and then he was like, oh no, I think I'm starting to cramp up now too. And then like a second later, we started hearing the hum of those boats, so lucked out just in time. I think they have solidified their jobs in emergency medicine. I remember getting on the boat, and they put me in one of those like water rescue gurneys where it's like kind of like half a wired cage for a mummy. And once my leg was moved around, I felt pain, and I mean, luckily, like it didn't last. Like I guess I still had enough adrenaline or whatever helping me out. It was when I was moved, or like the leg was moved, that I just had to cry out in pain. There's no biting my tongue about it. Luckily, if I stayed still, it was just a floating entity to me. I remember the boat rides. They were gunning it. The only thing I think I don't remember was ambulance ride to the first hospital where I was taken in and then had my surgery. But I remember being in the hospital there as everyone was trying to get an IV on me. I was finally able to get an oxygen tank and breathe from that, and it made breathing so much easier, so much better. My brain finally stopped screaming at me to breathe, keep breathing. And the hospital I was taken to was on Neva because it was closer, and that's actually where I had my surgery, my amputation. So, like, I was awake, I could feel the IVs, I had the oxygen, and, like, I could hear talking around me. It kind of like I was being prepared for it, but, like, I was able to hear, like, this male voice over all the chattering and everything saying the word amputation, and so I was kind of already preparing for it, but I was awake and aware until they switched my mask over, and then I started smelling that anesthesia gas, and I knew that they were putting me under for surgery, but it took a little bit, but so I was still able to hear some talk, so I went under, and then next thing is me waking up still in the hospital in Nevis, and then I have to be transported from Nevis to St. Kitts, and then the next day they were working it out that I would be flown back to the States Sunday the 10th. The ambulance takes me to the airport. They fly me back to the States, where when we land, I have to get in another ambulance to go to the hospital there. I was there for 10 days, and then I was able to go to a rehabilitation center about 2.5 weeks, and then I've been released home. But so I got blood transfusions, and then they did like CT scans, MRIs to check to make sure that there wasn't any bleeding happening in the residual limb. But when I was still in the water, honestly, from the moment I turned around and saw the shark face, it just was all surreal to me. And I kept thinking, there's no way this is happening. There's no way. And even after I punched it and I gouged its eye and I felt it, it was there and it let go of me. And it wasn't until like I'd gotten my head above water, screamed shark, screamed for help. That's when I had actually wasn't surreal to an out-of-body experience when I was just kind of like floating there, kind of trying to yell for help. It was then that I was like, this is real, and if you don't treat it as real, there's not going to be anything left. We were trying to reason why it happened at all, thinking back to like, was I wearing something shiny? Was I wearing something attractive? The bright colors, maybe that was attractive. And he was like, ooh, that's a pretty fish. Everyone was a little bit away from me. Like, there was still like a group of us. I don't know. What I remember, I know it's not like the whole picture and everything, so it is a little confusing to me, and I'm trying to piece together things myself. Another thing is like, with all that blood in the water, okay, well, this is going to attract at least a dozen other ones or something like that. So when later they told me what I was thinking about it, I was like, it circled but then it left. I was like, I really don't think it hurt it that bad. That it was like, okay, I'll give up. But I was like, could it have been a new shark that it smelled the blood? And I was like, oh, yeah, this is where the blood's coming from, but this looks like too much of a hassle. And I remember I had already turned and start heading their way, like over to them. It was just like within like 1 or 2 strokes. So I guess me stopping maybe, he certainly saw his opportunity. He's like, oh, she stopped. Get it. It's like it came from the left as well, because it grabbed my leg. It looked almost like his jaw was perpendicular on my leg. But all I was able to see was really the face. It's kind of like it was that big that that's all I could take in was I just see, and I couldn't even see its teeth. I think they were just buried in my leg. And honestly, like, the image of it swimming away, I can't even remember what its fins really looked like to say what was longer and what was short. Afterwards, so many people were asking me, how'd you know to, like, hit it in the nose or hit it in the eye? And I was like, didn't we all, like, learn this just, like, watching Animal Planet growing up or something like that? And it really surprised me just how often I was asked, how did I know to do that? Because really, it was like I didn't even really have to think about it. I just knew it was a thing to do and did it. So I guess if we can...
It's actually better to punch them in the eyes or the gills if you can, because if you punch them in the nose, your hand can rake down right into the shark's mouth.
But then what happened? Okay, because my right hand got a little cut up and, well, yeah, I guess torn up because I got a chunk off my thumb. And I didn't even know about it until I woke up in the hospital. I was so confused. I was like, how did my right hand get hurt this bad? But yeah, I mean, when I did hit it in the nose, it didn't get a flying pancake. I really owe my life to everyone that was there that day. And they did something fierce and something brave. They essentially put their life on the line to help save mine as well. Everyone wanted to talk about how I punched a shark. Yeah, I got it to let go of me, but that was only the beginning. Every role that everyone played kept me alive and let me come out of this with just missing a leg when it could have been much, much more. I feel like an idiot afterwards because once we talked to some fishermen, they're like, oh yeah, there's tiger sharks on the Atlantic side. And we're like, oh yeah, we know that now too. Honestly, safety really is like our first thing before every swim. We're given our speech of make sure you have your buddy, make sure you're keeping an eye on where everyone is. And we went over hand signals for saying you're okay, saying you're in distress, and saying if there's a shark. Ironically, I put that one in there that day. It was kind of like there was like little hints leading up to it. But safety was our concern, having those swim buoys. We usually swim on the Caribbean side. These islands are like right in the middle. You got the Caribbean on the west side and the Atlantic on the east side. So our swims are typically on the Caribbean side where it's more calm. And so like I said at the beginning, the weather was perfect. Otherwise we wouldn't have done this swim because on the Atlantic side, the waves and current are just so much more. If we had got full for too much, we weren't going to go out at all. We were just going to scrap it and try again another day. I would definitely recommend using a swim buoy, wearing a swim cap that's brightly colored because it doesn't take much of a wave for someone not to be able to see you. And so having that bright point to look at helps out. But the swim buoys as well are a bright point to look at. I mean, that's why they're there, fluorescent. Carrying a tourniquet, I guess you can work that around, maybe the belt or something like that. But yeah, if you have kayakers going out with you, throw in a first aid kit. We didn't think about that. We just kind of packed snacks. If it's not a place that you're used to, if it's somewhere new, check around, talk to someone that knows it to see if there's anything to know about it, like if there's some kind of cross current. I don't harbor any ill will. It was just doing what it does. It might have been doing it badly, but I was in its territory. It's kind of fair game. I'm not any more or less attracted to sharks. I have a healthy fear of the ocean and what's in it because I'm not going to go out there cocky like the Titanic is saying, nothing can stop me. Like, that's just ignorant. You think that you're invincible. Well, in any state, anything. So I'm going to keep my eyes peeled, of course. I'm going to know that you should be prepared for anything at this time. I have been out in the water enough that I did have confidence that I could swim and I wasn't necessarily like looking over my shoulder every 5 seconds. Although maybe that is maybe that would have been a golden rule. But so beforehand, I have a healthy respect for sharks and healthy fear. I know there are species that couldn't care less about you. I'm not going to judge sharks as a whole. I'm not going to condemn them for anything, but I'm not going to work on them as a threat. Yeah, I never really wanted to experience the shark dives and that people do for vacations. That wasn't really necessarily my first choice, the first part, but I definitely don't hate them. that this is going to deter people and have them scared to get in the water. And it's really opposite. You really need to get in the water and be prepared and know how to handle it. I think water safety is very important, and it starts with actually just getting in the water and knowing how to swim. No, I will be back to swimming. I think that once I get back to the island and get back to the oceans and the sea, it might be a little harder at first, but I know I want to. I will work on it and whatever I need to do to be ready to get in again. If I ran away from the ocean every time a shark bit off my leg, I'd never get to swim.
You got one shot left.
Yeah.
Brooke is doing well and is finishing her final year of vet school. She shared her story with us in hopes of educating other swimmers out there. A few key points to remember from her interview. If you are unfamiliar with an area you're going to be swimming, surfing, or diving in, check with locals to see if there are any dangerous conditions. Carry a good first aid kit with a tourniquet. Have emergency numbers available and carry a marine-grade radio and cell phones in properly secured waterproof containers or bags. If you do encounter a shark, fight, striking it in the gills or eyes. Thank you for watching. If you like this format, let us know and we can share more interviews. If you have suggestions for other videos, let us know in the comments. You can find more information on shark attack bites at trackingsharks.com and follow us on social media at Tracking Sharks. Thanks again for watching.